Hello, hello. How are you? Happy Friday night from Toronto, Ontario, Canada. This is the Bunn, in case you didn't know. If you ended up here and you didn't know who the Bunn was, like, that would be kind of weird. I'm like, why would you even be on this channel if you didn't have an idea? Because, I don't know, it's not that good of a channel. But we got a bang up show for tonight. Hope you're well. This new setup that you see here, it's not a new setup. I'm working on a video, and this is all set up for a video to try and tell a different story, you know. And what I've learned with making videos is if you can change things the least over the course of, you know, doing a video, keep things set up, that is mission critical. Let's get the comments in view here. I see some people. I see some folks out here. I see that Nick Hill and Barry Proser and Vin. 13 past midnight, Rose, Development of a Void, and Barry Proser. Barry Processor. Processing those tones, making those low tones a reality. I like it, Barry. I like what you do with those tones. Little note here. Hello, everyone. Good night, or good evening, rather. And a little note here is Development of a Void. You know, we've been watching your videos. Your first video there. That's some well done stuff. It's pretty amazing. For those of you who are interested in new YouTube channels surrounding music and maybe the thought process behind creative lives, creative stuff, I don't know, all that stuff, Development of Void has a great channel that he's just recently started, and some really thoughtful, really creative videos, really well done. Anyway, and you know, you can find Development of a Void in the comments. I don't have the software anymore to put the comments on the screen. I'm not Moneybags Bunn anymore. I used to be Moneybag Buns. Is that a thing? Moneybag Buns. But one thing we can do, we can all have conversations. And if you do the @ symbol in the comments here, and you go at, who are we gonna go? At Rose. And the name will pop up. So you type the @ symbol, then you start typing the username of the person that you'd like to communicate with, and their name will pop up, and you just like go and, you know, send a message. Hello, hope all is rad. Bam. So, you know, it is very cool here to have sidebar conversations, have conversations within the chat with each other, meet each other, help each other out, introduce yourselves, all that kind of stuff. You most likely all have a bunch in common. And if we were all in a room hanging out together, we'd probably be able to get into some cool stuff, you know? So definitely communicate with each other, meet each other, introduce yourselves to each other. That's great. Rose says, oh, Bunn, I had a thought. Would you ever consider melding a dual channel tone that uses a bass patch at the same time? You could probably get some seriously nasty and sludge tones with it. So I think what you're talking about here, Rose, is for a guitar tone and, you know, building a tone that favors the low end, the sub bass frequencies. And for most of the music that I make personally, I don't have really a space for that. Like, I don't have a creative outlet that I could use that very well. It's not a bad idea. It's a good idea. It's just like, I don't have a creative application for that kind of thing. I definitely have mused on that. I definitely have explored those possibilities with dual amp tones. I used to have the Granddaddy Helix, the rack Helix, and outside of that, I've had use of the Axe FX and the Pod HD Pro and various modelers that have dual amp paths, as well as a bunch of software modelers like Bias FX Pro that has dual amp paths. And I've definitely mused on that. I've definitely played around with that kind of thing. One thing, so for me and the kind of music that I make, and I can only speak for myself, this is not me speaking for everyone or trying to say that everyone should go about it this way. I'm just speaking purely for myself, is that a lot of bass in the guitar tone for me, a lot of sub bass, generally doesn't work out well. And if I reserve that space for the bass guitar, it tends to work a lot better. If I did something as a duo that was just guitar and drums, maybe that would have a better, maybe there would be an opportunity for that kind of an application, if that makes any sense. I'm trying to be articulate here. But yeah, the dual amp tone, definitely experiment with it. There's a lot of opportunity these days with technology to muse with really advanced sort of setups and rigs using things like the Helix or Bias FX, excuse me. And, you know, having multiple paths, like parallel paths and all these sorts of things, ABY type scenarios. So all very fun, incredibly fun to fool around with. And you should definitely explore them. Sean Heath is in the stream. Everyone wish Sean Heath the best of luck with the Great Guitar Build-Off. He's building a multi-scale baritone guitar, and it's wild. It's a headless design. It's crazy. So yeah, hope you're well over there in sunny Germany. It would be very late in Germany right now. It would probably be like 3 a.m. or something like that. Party time. Party time, excellent. Bohemian Rhapsody hour. But anyhow, we're going to get into it here. I tend to ramble a lot. One of the things that I want to do right off the top is thank everybody with me over at Patreon and YouTube memberships. And it's because of all of those people that I can do all of this stuff. And yeah, you know who you are. Thank you very much. You're you know, obviously everybody's listed. But if you're interested in coming along with the Bunn and making things happen, making all those power moves, the links to both Patreon and YouTube memberships is right here. I'm gonna, whoa, bam, bam. I don't know if that link worked out. Hopefully it makes sense. It's a weird link. Maybe we do it this way. Bam. We'll do it one at a time. Bam. Control V. Oh, Control Z. Patreon.com. TheBunn.ca. Here we go. Bam. And I'm really good at computers, by the way. I don't know if you guys could tell. Like, check out this computer work. It's like next level. You should be taking notes. You should be like, whoa, I've never seen computer work like this. Amazing. But yeah, today we got a big show lined up here. A few things kind of off the top, just sort of like Bunn world related and like connecting with all of you folks. You know, kind of reeling it all, making it tighter, making it closer, making all of our connections richer, more meaningful, more real. In terms of like Instagram, haven't been that strong on Instagram because it has given me a lot of technical problems in the past, but recently a lot of those problems have been solved. So I'm actually kind of stoked to use Instagram more. So like if you're interested in connecting with me on that Instagram, I I've been using it a lot more, and I intend to use it a lot more because all of the problems I was having with video and whatnot are resolved on the Instagram end of things, Facebook, Instagram. So that's a cool thing. And secondly, with the Patreon, I'm doing a experiment. Some of you may already know that we have a bandless, sort of a, between Nick Hill and Stephen Barton and a couple other creators and myself, we have this Discord group. It's called Bandless, and people have sort of sub threads in there. I as well have a sub thread in there. I've attached the Discord to my Patreon. So if you're interested in gaining access to that Discord group, that is a way you can do it. We kind of cut off the open invites a little while ago, but I'm opening it up that way now. And I don't really know what I'm doing in terms of how it all works. It seems to be kind of like really dumb and just straightforward. You just, set it up and it just takes care of itself, but I don't know if that's a fact. I guess people have to do it in order for me to tell if it's actually working. So right now it's open to the top tier of patrons only, not YouTube members or anyone else. Just because I want to understand how it works if anybody's interested. But I'm just putting it out there because it's sort of a test type of thing. And if you're interested in that Discord group, that's a thing. And I've been able to hang out in the Discord group more and hopefully do it even more. So yeah, all of that stuff, social media and connections and all that kind of stuff. That's what's going on. But yeah, today's topics, we got a bunch of stuff going on. We're going to be talking about some music that the Bunn has released, both recently and a little while ago, and moving into the future, what the plans are and how that relates to you in terms of what you're creating and what you're going to release. We're going to be talking about some of the questions and topics that have arisen as a result of the last few Bunn produced YouTube videos, as well as what are the last few things? Really, that's the last few things, but it's kind of endless topics, all related to baritones and strings and theory and production and all of that cool stuff. So yeah, share your own experiences and plans and all these sorts of things in the chat, please. It is very important. Rose is saying, can I still invite friends to the bandless server? Currently, I don't think anybody has the ability to invite people to the bandless server. I think it's a closed system, Rose. I'm going to have to double check on that, but that's what I understand. I'm not a very technically gifted person when it comes to the bandless or when it comes to the Discord. I'll have to double check on that. Actually, we might have it open. So yeah, we do have it open. For those of you who are like, oh, what's the Discord all about? Well, it's a big to-do. There's a whole lot of sections. And what I was talking about was everybody has their own sections. So there's a Nick Hill section, there's a Bunn section, there's a Gear Stuff and Things section, there's a Heavy Tones section. Gary from Heavy Tones, Stephen from Gear Stuff and Things, myself, and Nick Hill. It's sort of a shared server. Wow, there's a whole bunch of new messages for Nick Hill there. But as I get along in the next week, I'm starting to get a little bit more hip with all of this. So we'll see what we can do and how we can do more with it. Pretty exciting stuff. But we're going to get into the first topic here, which is, I'm just going to double check Ryan LaFlamme, how are you? I hope you are well. Toys for Noise, good to see you. Synth Chris, my buddy Synth Chris. Good to see all of you guys. Ike, good to see you, Ike. Always good to see you, Ike. Like, solid. Awesome. So the first thing we're going to get into, it's kind of like Bunn oriented stuff, but there is a sidebar for all of us. And the first thing is, bam. How do I switch these? I have so many things here. So, right, left, right. This one. Bam. So, very first thing is I've recently put up all of the, or not all of, the decorated single. I've released that on my own website. Previously, it was only available on the Bandcamp. And so that kind of leads into another topic, but just to shut this one down, Now Decorated is available in both places. If you don't like the Bandcamp thing and you want to do the direct thing, or you just don't like Bandcamp and you want another option, this is an option. And Decorated is this tune. It's crazy. It's a crazy tune. Anyway, that was a release for last Bandcamp Friday. So this is the next part of the topic. What's going on with Bandcamp Friday? Well, Bandcamp Friday is not happening today, obviously. I thought it was. I got an email a little while ago sort of illustrating what they were doing. They said what they were doing, but they didn't really specify what they weren't doing. And so it was a little bit confusing and a little bit of decoding going on. But as far as I understand with Bandcamp Friday is that there is no Bandcamp Friday this month or in July, but in the middle of June, June 19th, there's an event called Juneteenth. And it's a yearly event. And it's when companies and organizations kind of get together to try and raise awareness and funding for communities that need, legal representation and just help in general, who are disadvantaged communities and disadvantaged peoples and all these sorts of things. There's a lot more to the story. It's up to you to kind of look into if it's something for you. I don't want to get into the sort of political aspect of it. I just like people, and I think people deserve freedom, and I like to assist in the freedom of people. So Juneteenth is the next sort of Bandcamp Friday thing. The only thing about it is typically Bandcamp Fridays, they waive the fees and the artist takes all. With Juneteenth, it's a fundraising event, and the money goes to all of these causes from across the whole Bandcamp platform if you want to get involved. And I want to get involved, so that's what I'm shooting for. So June 19th is what I'm shooting for my next release. I don't know if I will finish. I hope that I will, but it's hard to say. But that's what I'm shooting for. If you are looking to do a Bandcamp release, you could do it then. If you're like, I'm not going to be ready for June 19th, the next Bandcamp Friday is on the first Friday of August. So the next Bunn live stream, like this kind of live stream, will be on that day as well. And we'll be talking about everybody's Bandcamp releases, which is something I love to do. All my pals who are, and old pals, new pals, everyone who's releasing music on Bandcamp Friday, I try to, shine some light on that if I can. So if you're releasing stuff, let me know, and I'll be trying to keep up with it all in the Discord as well as on the Facebook group, and on all the other various, social media. That social media stuff. So that's what's going on with all of that. Bunn decorated single now available directly from the Bunn on the Bunn's website, as well as There is no Bandcamp Friday today, but Juneteenth, which is June 19th, is the next sort of big event for Bandcamp. It is a fundraising event. You know, if you're into people, if you're into humans and humans living well, might be a thing that you're interested in, maybe not. But if you're looking for the next Bandcamp Friday, it is the first Friday of August. So yeah. And if you're preparing tracks for Bandcamp Fridays, let me know about them. I would love to know about them, always. Especially like, you know, baritone heavy stuff. That's what I'm all about. So that is the first topic. And what is the next little bit on that topic? Oh yeah, the bam. Okay. The second point on that was Bandcamp, right? Yeah, that's good enough. Recently, there's been a lot of new interest in this project that I do called Vens. And because I did some videos recently, I've been using Vens material more recently. It's a little bit higher tuned. It's in A1 standard. And this here is the project that I've been using material from. People are like, what's that all about? I want to hear more. I want to hear more. I'm like, well, there's that thing, but there's also this thing. And you can only find this on my personal Bandcamp, on the Bunn Bandcamp. And it's just a 2-song demo. And what's interesting about this, actually, from a perspective of producing your own heavy, low stuff, you're producing, you're like, I don't have a lot of stuff. I have a guitar and I have some amp sims and some software and that's it. Well, that's how this was made. And I'll just play a very small bit of this. Will it play? Great. So the bass is just the guitar. I didn't have a bass when I did this. The bass that I used to use for Vens, I had sold. So I just used the guitar, I pitched it down, I put that through an amp sim, a VST amp sim, and I did everything with, most of it with VSTs and one guitar and software. And you can do a lot. And this was all actually done on a 2011 iMac i5 with 6 gigs of RAM, which, you know, by today's standards, that seems like an unbelievably slow machine, but it was fine. It's funny. I use that machine to type now, just to type notes and whatnot, and I can't believe how slow it is. Can't believe that I did anything on it, but it worked, you know? So the moral of the story is, I produced this on pretty old, pretty weak material, weak technology with very limited resources. And if you just play with it enough, you could probably get a good result. Just keep trying different variables until you find things that work. So I can't recommend that enough. And yeah, the material that I've been using lately that people are like, oh, what's this Vens material? It's all this material, and it's on the Bunn Bandcamp. It also, there is a Vens profile of its own. I think, can we get there? 2 other linked accounts, yeah. Bam, there is a Vens only account, but it doesn't have the demo on it, because the demo, if you know Vens, it has vocals. It's mental. But Theo and I are working on new stuff and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, anyway, let's get out of here. I don't want to talk about my music too much. But people keep asking, so that's what's going on with all of that. The last little bit on this music is people are like, where can I find Wetlands? I've had like magazines, like online magazines and stuff, being like, where is your Spotify link to Wetlands? I'm like, it's not on Spotify yet. There's only like a few tracks. Like, on my website here, you can see there's like 4 tracks, 4 official Wetlands tracks. And since this track, the very first one, it has evolved a lot in 4 tracks. It has sort of found its sound in the last 2 tracks. So who knows where it's going to land. And I imagine around January, the Wetlands stuff will find its way up to Spotify and everything else, all the big streamers. So yeah, I don't know. I don't use any of those things. So I never think about Spotify until a flood of requests come in. It's like, where can I find it on Spotify? I'm like, who uses Spotify? Apparently everybody. So yeah, that's crazy. Too loud. What's that? The music? Yeah, I don't know how to manage that. Let's do this. How was that? I don't know. I'm going to have to balance it out every single time. I just took the fader down, but the fader for that is the same fader for something else. And 2 other things. So we'll play it by ear. So we're going to grab a few comments here. I don't have the software anymore to put the comments on the screen. It was very expensive. If, the channel gets ballin', we'll bring back that software, but I have to pay for it by the month, and it's a lot. So, Christos, hey Christos, how are you doing? I remember you. You've been around for quite a few years. Hail from Russia. Hello from Toronto. Hope all is well. You're probably enjoying some summer there now, finally. 5 a.m. 5 a.m. in Russia. Yeah, for sure. The music, it was so loud compared to your audio. Yeah. Okay. I got it. We're going to try and match the volume as we go. 14,000% loud. Great. Yeah. I can't see the comments either when I'm on the screen. More technical difficulties. I'm not, I need more screens. Why doesn't Bandcamp have a volume controller? I don't know. That's a good point. Strung Out asks, why isn't there a volume thing on Bandcamp specifically? Like on my website, if we go to this here, desktop right, you can see here, there is, oh, is there? No, it looks like it's a volume control, but it's not a volume control. And let's bring that down there. How's that? I don't know. We're going to have to play this by ear because I'm not technically, I don't have the technology. And so, Christos, Development of Void, is that your name or some kind of Jesus thing? And Gunky Zip is that, I don't know, humans, probably in relationship to, the Juneteenth thing. Ven's Rules, thank you, Development of Void. It's a very fun project. Gonna skip ahead here. I'm guessing Bunn's mic is going to an outboard mixer before the computer. Yes, that is correct, Gunky Zip. Hayden, how are you? Hope you're well. I'm listening on headphones and I'm not hearing any volume changes. Oh, interesting. That's wild. Sean Heath is having a different experience, so that's weird. Now it's just regular loud. Development of a Void. Okay, we're going to figure it out, guys. It's going to be good. It seems like if I take the volume for desktop audio down to half on the fader, I'm using OBS. If anyone who is familiar with that knows what I'm talking about. We're going to just play it by ear. You guys are going to have to tell me. I'm going to try and be able to watch the comments for the volume levels and all that kind of stuff. It's tough. And Nick Hill is saying that I use the Helix 100% now. Yes, I use the Helix 100% now. And there's a whole bunch of reasons why I do that. For those of you who find the Helix maybe an expensive item, I understand that. I'm not trying to say that you need a Helix to make music. That's not what I'm saying. It's not what any of us are saying. But for me, the Helix is very cost effective in the way that I can fit it into my overall workflow in terms of recording with it, in terms of gigging with it, in terms of using it with amps, using it with power amps, using it with front of house. Front of house meaning when you're playing live. All these sorts of things. It's very small. It's incredibly powerful. It sounds really good once you understand how to use it. And yeah, it's the future. So that's what I use. There's nothing wrong with VSTs if you have a computer system that can, that you can work from the VSTs. Like, it requires a little bit of power, but I've had good experiences with VSTs on low power systems if you choose the right VSTs. So some are less DSP intensive than others. Hello from Houston, Orion Sick. I hope you're well. Guitar Nerd, hello, how are you? Gets ballin'. Is that what the kids are saying nowadays? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm ballin'. Check out, like, my pipes are ballin'. This t-shirt is ballin'. I don't know. Yeah, we're gonna move along here to the next point. The next point, because the faster we get through the points, the stuff, the more we can just like hang out in the comments and just chat. Matt, good to see you. Matt Sorensen. Haven't seen you for a little bit. What am I using as the mic? It is this. It is an Audio-Technica shotgun mic. And it's what I use for all of my produced videos and whatnot. It's just pretty good at staying out of the scene. Oh, we're still on the, there we go. Bam. I guess it doesn't matter. But yeah, it's an Audio-Technica mini shotgun. So it's designed to be able to use it in the field on a camera rig, or it's a full XLR connection and you can use it like this. And it works really good for voiceover and all that kind of stuff. Has really good off-axis rejection. Those of you who are maybe new to recording, off-axis rejection means that whatever you point the microphone at, the source that you point it at, it will pick that up more than anything else. Off-axis rejection. So if there's noise in the peripheral environment, it will not pick that up as much, if at all. And this mic has been really good for that. In this building here, in this studio, there are people who do stuff in other rooms. There's another creator upstairs that typically is, making some noise and whatnot. And it seems to reject the noise quite well. So if you're looking for a microphone for your music or whatever, off-axis rejection, basically hypercardioid or cardioid is the pickup pattern. It will help. Yeah, food for thought. John, how are you? Hope you are well. Beer guy, how are you? Got home from work. I hope work was okay. Today is Friday. So yeah, end of the week. I hope you're off for the weekend. We're going to get into the next topic. The first topic was just music stuff and Juneteenth and Bandcamp Friday and all that. There will be a replay. For those of you who are looking for the replay after, for whatever reason, these videos, my live videos, my live streams, I don't keep them on the main channel, like public anymore, because there's a whole bunch of reasons, but they are all in playlists. So it's still publicly available, but you have to go to the playlist to find them if for some reason you're looking for them and you can't find them. But yeah, next bit here is going to be a little update in terms of tones. We're going to play some guitar, desktop right, bam. Recently updated the BUNNSONICS Vens Helix presets. I haven't made a lot of noise about the release of this preset pack. It's a Helix preset pack, so you have to have either Helix native, just the software, or the Helix hardware to use these presets. But I have updated specifically the Vens Active preset and the Vens Active Bass preset. And we're just going to take a listen to those and see what it's all about. What guitar are we going to use? Right. The reason I updated them is because I recently did a video on this guitar. Some of you may have seen it, which is a Viper VB 400, 27-inch scale baritone, you know, ESP made thing, LTD. Did a video on this, and I really had to kind of like work to get a tone that I liked out of it. And maybe in the end, I didn't really like the tone anyway, but let's go to, we got a Viper view, a Helix view here as well. And maybe we'll change the camera. Yeah, how's that? That's cool, hey? And, oh, we're still on the bass tone. Sounds great. Oh, you see that patch? That's a weird looking patch up there, hey? Vens Active. Bam! There we go. Turn it up a little bit. If it's too loud, let me know. I'm going to bring the comments back here so that you can let me know. No Tinder required. No, definitely no Tinder. All the hotness is right here. La Flab. But this guitar, I did a demo on it recently. It has EMG 81 in the bridge. Anyone who has a lot of experience with baritone guitars, like lower tunings, A and lower, you might notice that EMG 81 has this weird characteristic that the lower you go, the more sort of like cloudy and closed in the pickup sounds. And it's very difficult to get a lively kind of good chug and, you know, a little bit of that pillowy. Keep in mind, Vens is supposed to be a gnarly kind of sounding thing. But yeah, it's a very kind of short sounding tone with the EMG 81s. So I updated this tone to, you know, try and get the most possible out of the 81. And it was difficult, but it's okay. One thing I noticed in the video was that, like after the video was done and I listened to the track a bunch of times, was that in a recorded situation, I don't think most people would notice if it's like how closed in it is. Sounds weird in headphones. But anyway, that's that. That's the Vens Active tone. Actually curious what it might sound like with passive pickups. It's probably going to be gnarly. So this here is the RGIB 6, and it has a Seymour Duncan SH6 in the bridge. Seymour Duncan distortion in the bridge. Really like the pickup, but this patch might be a little too much because trying to compensate for the 81. That's crazy. But that might be to some people's cup of tea, depends. But you can use, you know, just because I make patches for active doesn't mean you can't use them for passive. Depends what you're going for. If you're looking for a gnarly thing. But anyway, so you can use it for passive. Just depends what you're looking for. I don't make gent tones. So if you're a genter, whoa, headphones are flying off here because the cord, I'm stepping on it. There we go. Anyway, so the Vens active tone has been updated. It's as lively as it can get. It's still nice and gnarly for an EMG type of pickup configuration. If it's going to work for your music, I don't know. Is it going to be gnarly? Yeah, probably. And I also updated the bass tone. The bass tone is gnarly. I kind of have a whole new way of going about the bass. And let's call that up. Bam, 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 bam. Where is it? Vans bass active. Bam. So, and this here is Dingwall with, you know, the Dingwall EMG designed pickups. It's currently in a passive mode, but it still sounds good. It sounds gnarly. Yeah, the bass tones that I'm getting out of this Helix are next level. Whoa. Let's just try it. We're going to try it with just a passive. This is a pretty low output bass. What does it sound like? Bam. Oh, man, there's so much stuff in the way. So this is E1 standard, regular passive bass, nothing special about it. It is a humbucker design in the bridge pickup, but yeah, still sounds awesome. Just like, I'm so stoked on the bass tones that I'm getting currently. When I first got into the Helix, it was a little bit of a challenge because I was going about it maybe the wrong way. But yeah, very happy about the bass tones coming out of that there Helix. But those are updated. So if you have the Helix patches for Vens and you didn't get an update, I sent out updates to everyone. But if for some reason you didn't get it, let me know, because I want to make sure that everybody gets them, especially those bass patches. They sound so great, and they're designed to be mix ready for this heavy stuff, for this super low tuning. But as we illustrated with the standard tune bass, it still works fine. But that, I think, is it for that one. What else? Oh, shoot. I didn't, yeah, there's one more bit on that, not tones. Where's all my navigation here? The next thing is the Vans Red Carpet drum fills, or drum MIDI. And I have updated that to include all of the raw MIDI. So if you're on, say, Ableton or Logic or whatever, and you just want to drag the MIDI into your session, you can do that now. You don't have to be on Reaper. If you want to import the MIDI into the Easy Drummer library or the Superior Drummer library, you can do that now. The MIDI is included in a raw folder, and you can just drag and drop it or do whatever you want with it. So that's a huge update and probably useful if you're, yeah, wanting to be creative quickly. Whatchamacallit? Guitar Nerd says, on that note, how well would that Viper work for drop A tuning? That's where I live. That was A. It's in A right now. It's not drop A. I don't play drops, but it's in A standard 1. So technically it should be better, should be brighter in drop A, because the higher strings are going to be a little bit tighter and a little bit just more harmonic. So one thing I've found, especially with the EMGs, is the higher the tuning, the better those pickups sound. So if it's an E guitar, I did a little while ago, like, what does a baritone sound like with really light strings tuned up in just E1, like E2 standard? And it was a while ago now, but I have the RGIB 21 and I put really light strings like 9s on it and tuned it up to E. And it has EMG still in it. And it sounded really good. It had a really great kind of rock and roll kind of richness to it. You know, that big first position rock and roll chords and whatnot. So when you have slightly higher tuning, and in the case of a drop tuning, you know, the first 5 strings are higher tuned than the lowest string, the 6th string. So you might be able to get a better tone out of the EMG and the Viper specifically. I really like the Viper, like as a guitar, as the style of it, the way it feels in the hands, all that kind of stuff. I really don't like the pickup configuration. I don't like the EMGs, but thankfully they're humbuckers. So you can change that pretty easily. You do have to change the pots though. You know, the pots associated with EMGs are a completely different value than you would use for a passive configuration. So how is the Viper? I love the guitar. I want to love it more than I do love it. There's some shortcomings to it. I can only use it for A or B. And if I tuned in higher low tunings like B and C, it would be amazing because you could put really light strings on it and, you know, probably put 9s on it and tune to B or 10s or whatever and tune to B, and it'd be like really rich and still be perfectly tight. The goal usually is you want that 20 pound, like 15 to 20 pounds of tension. And we're going to actually get into that part, into that topic in a little bit. But yeah, you know, not to get tense. Really went on a tirade there. But I hope that helps. Anyone who's interested in the 27-inch scale stuff and the Vipers specifically, all the ESP LTD stuff in the 400 series seems to come with EMGs. And there are many eras where they had all of them available in a baritone configuration, the Horizon, the Viper, and the Eclipse. And I think that other one that looks like a bunch of lightning bolts, not a guitar for me, but a lot of people like it. And it was available as a baritone, I think, as well. So Gunky's a beer guy, blah, 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 guitar nerd. I love that you guys are having conversations in the chat. That's what it's all about. It is what it is all about. Ryan LaFlemme, you like those tones? That bass tone, man. I'm just like, I'm so into it. I have a completely different approach to crafting bass tones for the Helix now, and it's working out great. Roadbill says Helix is as good or better for bass than guitar. Oh yeah, it's great. Like I said, it took me a bit to kind of rethink my approach. But I would say that's the case with almost any new piece of gear. You know, you get used to using a certain workflow, a certain combination of things to do something, and then you change it completely, and you know, it usually takes a little bit of an adjustment. That's just the way it goes. But yeah, Roadbill, I'm 100% with you. Matt, hi Bunn, I've got a boutique tube amp based on a recto circuit, want to pair it with a Helix and an amp attenuator for home recording practice. Will HX Stomp be a good idea to mix into the chain? Yeah, so the rectifier, especially with an attenuator, I have a video where I did a comparison of the mini rectifier and the full-size 100-watt dual rectifier. It was a 3-channel dual rectifier and a mini rectifier, and I used a 2 notes 8-ohm attenuator to do that video. I had the Helix at the time, and I definitely played around with it. I love rectifiers, and to me, just like a tube screamer into the rectifier with the attenuator was like total beast tone, like amazing. What's beautiful about the Helix is that you have a lot of tube screamer options, a lot of boost options. You can use it just as the effects, right? Or you could use it as just a cab sim box. Like the beautiful thing about the HX Stomp, any Helix, is that you can use it in a multitude of configurations. You could use it for just all the effects, reverbs and all that kind of stuff, modulation. Or you could use it just as boosts and gates and all that kind of stuff, which is amazing. Or you could use it as just for its cab sims. You know, it's really flexible. So yeah, rectifier and this, use the horizon drive in there and the gate and maybe an EQ or whatever. I don't know, like there's a bunch of options. It's a really creative unit to work with. It's very configurable for how small it is, and it fits on a pedal board. I've been working with it in a pedal board configuration because I'm taking a project out live. Hopefully soon we're going to be able to play live, at least going to be able to do rehearsals. And I'm trying to take Wetlands out, and I plan to use the HX Stomp to do that. So dual rectifier, amazing amp. Pairing it with a Helix, there's a bunch of ways, like a Stomp, there's a bunch of ways you can take advantage of that. Do you need it? Not necessarily if you have a dual rectifier, but it depends what you want to do. If you want a bunch of options, if you want a bunch of creative options, or a bunch of different configurations, then it might be really cool. And the power amp going into the loop of the dual rectifier, I really love the power amp on the dual rectifier. And dual rectifier power amps can be configured with 6L6s or EL34s. So there's that extra level of versatility there. And putting the Helix into a tube power amp is pretty nice. It feels nice. And you can use just the preamp models in the Helix. A lot of options there. It's pretty crazy. Canahan. Hey bro, I watched your video on scale lengths and you were really picky about it, although I see people tune to even drop E on 27-inch scale and get great tones. I'm sure you have your own reasons and I'd love to hear. Yeah, like this channel is all about like really good results. One thing I've found is that there's a lot of people who make music where they only play the first few frets and they don't play the low string up the fretboard. I use the low string way up the fretboard and I sustain those notes. If you just play fast notes even on the low string and it's really tuned down, it won't tune. It just won't. You know, you could tell me anything. You could tell me like, oh, but this and that. And it's like, it's not going to tune. I know it's not going to tune. So I'm interested in it tuning well. And I'm also interested in that 20 pounds, like 15 to 20 pounds, preferably more than 15 pounds of tension. I would like, you know, about 17 to 20 pounds of tension on the low string, but I do not want a super big string because a big string has a dead sound and like the high mids are just dead. And the sustain also is really low. And the more you F around with it, the more you come to realize, like, if I just go with super long scale, all of those problems go away. Just like that. Just like snap your fingers, no problem. And it's effortless. Meanwhile, with a 27-inch scale or whatever in E, let's say, it's just like all these things that you have to live with, which you can, lots of people do it, but once you live with the difference, once you experience the other side of it, so 30-inch scale in low E, E1, and 27-inch scale in E1, the difference is night and day. But until you experience it significantly, you'll never know. So, and especially if you're in a band, like a live band, people playing, especially with different scales. I have this band called Foreigns, and for a while we played live, and for a while we had the same guitars, but then the other guitar player got a guitar a half-inch shorter, and the tuning problems were massive. We were always out of tune and we had to play with unbelievable accuracy in order to kind of like sort of get it to be in tune. And even the drummer is like, can you guys tighten up on that? It sounds terrible. And I was like, oh, sorry, man. And that project was only in G. So we went from 28, two guitars at 28-inch scale, to one guitar being 27.5 inches in scale. And there were serious, keep in mind that project, Foreigns, has a lot of stuff that is high up the neck with a lot of low notes, like low, what do you call it? Sixth string, and the high notes, like really wide intervals. So that stuff was really out of tune between the two guitars. So there is a big difference, but you need to kind of play with it to get a feel for it. And like I say, if you only play the low notes, like the first 3 frets, which tons of people do. Tons of people have like 8-string guitars and only play the first 3 frets of the first few strings, like the lowest strings. You know, that's a real thing. And there's nothing wrong with that. Oh, I'm stuck on the little screen here. Bam, bam, bam. There we go. And yeah, that's a thing that people do, and it's totally fine. It just depends like what's important to you. So if you want it to be really in tune, then get more scale. If you want to go really low and have it to be really in tune, get more scale. But if it doesn't really matter to you and you're just going for this Max Brutals thing, like Humanity's Last Breath, they just do like unbelievable brutality and gnarliness. It doesn't really need to be precise. It's not about being precise. Not at all. It's just about being like brutal. And they don't play, you know, all this delicate stuff off of the low string high up the fretboard. Doesn't matter. So there's a lot of material that you can do where it doesn't really matter. But this channel is all about if it happens to matter. I try to kind of like cover things like if it matters a lot to you, it matters a lot to me in most scenarios. So I try to kind of focus on those things. There's a ton of other channels that focus on a ton of stuff that doesn't matter. They're like, yeah, it's just deathcore. It's like all brutal. Who cares? Doesn't matter. And it really doesn't matter. So, yeah, I think like getting clear on like what it is you want to do first and then kind of filling in the gear to that. That's the thing that is going to make the biggest difference for you. And what you need is the biggest, that's the most important thing. What you need to do, what you need to get out of it, and what you are satisfied with in the end. Like if you're stoked, that is the best thing. It's like, I got this thing going on with whatever gear I'm using, and I'm super stoked. Pay attention to that. What I'm talking about might not be for you. Actually, most of the things that I'm talking about probably aren't for the majority of people. It's only for people who it's like precision is important. And I'm not even that precise of a guy. The string talk. Yeah, we're gonna talk about strings. We're not. Actually, we are a little bit later, but not the way you think. Chris says HLB is insane. Yeah, HLB, Humanity's Last Breath. They're totally insane. Like unbelievably brutal, awesome. Really artistic. I really appreciate what they're doing because it's so brutal, but it's really artistically brutal. Kind of like Frontier. Frontier is that way too. Different sound entirely. But I love that. I love people who are wicked creative, but also wicked brutal. I just think that's such an amazing contrast. I don't know. What do you guys think? Electric Meat Puppet, how are you? Hope you are well. Gunky Zip, Nick Hill. Oh, that's a Nick Hill thing. Birdie, how are you? Hope you are well. Strung Out, how are you? I think I said hello to you already, but if I didn't, hello. We're going to get to the last little bit here, which is point 3, which is, Viper, octaves. Actually, I don't know if we're going to talk about the Viper, but we're definitely going to talk about octaves in news. And that is, bam, bam. Yeah, we're going to talk about octaves first. And desktop right, bam. Rawr! The Bunn. This is a video I did this past month. Solo metal, writing, and pre-pro. And some of the stuff that I wanted to talk about with this what was it that I wanted to talk about with this? Oh, it was just that a lot of people are like watching these videos about the production and the pre-production, and they're like, oh, you know, this is really helpful. I hope that you do more. And I'm like, well, stage one, there's a video before this one. I don't know if it's included in the notes here. Bam. So a closer look at the first stage of 4 from the last Stuck with the Bun episode. So the 4 stages, I talked about the 4 stages of music production, and then the link is in the description right here. I'm not going to click on it right now, but this is stage 1. There will be stage 2, 3, and 4 to follow, and I'm finishing those up as I get through them. But yes, I will be finishing them. And the whole point of these is to kind of have these foundational videos so that we can talk about actually, you know, metal writing and pre-pro, like actually do it. And then if there's any questions, it'd be like, oh, this is what we're talking about. We talked about it in this video. So we can always refer back and we're not like leaving people behind type of thing. So that's the point. So if you're like, oh, I hope you're going to continue with this. Yes, we're continuing with it. And we're going to get right into production using baritones and producing music. But I just want to get the foundation stuff out of the way before we get into the depths of talking about specifics. And people are like, oh, you lost me. I'm like, oh, well, there's a video about the specifics. Don't worry, not going to try and not leave anybody behind. And then next was the Octaves video. And the Octaves video, if you haven't seen it, it's about like, when we talk about baritone guitars, people are always using numbers, and there's a lot of numbers involved in baritone guitars. A lot of numbers involved in music in general. So on this side over here, we have a few examples of octave ranges, and then the strings have numbers associated with them. Then their intervals in between the strings have numbers associated with them. And then over here, we have a couple examples of guitar tunings. There's numbers associated with it. And people are like, when we talk with numbers with some people, they're like, what are all these numbers? There's a lot of numbers. So I did this video to try and kind of give an idea of what some of these numbers are about. And it's confusing because if you go out there onto the internet, there's conflicting information. Man, my mouth is so dry, I can't speak. Much better. So, and there's a comment here. Yeah. So, Andrea, I think that's how you say that name. You'll find sometimes that the numbers don't correspond to the language that we use in the baritone obsessed world. You know, if you're a part of the Facebook group or whatever, you're like, oh, the numbers aren't lining up. Or I found this other thing and the numbers are different. Or I have this tuner and the numbers are different. Well, there are certain practices maybe that were a little bit more popular coming from the concert realm, like if you're reading sheet music and all that kind of stuff. And there's transposing. And the guitar is considered a transposing instrument. And a lot of the sheet music written for guitar is transposed up or down or whatever to fit it on the actual staff instead of being in between the staff lines. So that is something that happens, or being above the staff line, whatever. I don't work with written music that much. I studied written music when I was in high school, but I just don't work with it anymore. But apparently when you see octave shifts that don't really jive, usually it's because it's been shifted for staff to read on staff. This is something that nerdier, smarter people have shared, and that's the thing. And then, this one here, Kimzian is talking about, like, you know, not going too low. Well, some people are going really, really low, and some people are trying to go like an octave lower. Something that in the last couple of years that has been very popular, something that I do with my wetlands material, is the guitars are the guitars are bass sixes in E1 standard tuning, E to E, 6-string guitars, but in a bass register of E, but with a guitar tone and all that kind of stuff. It's arguable if the tone is a guitar tone or not, but I try my best to give it separation. And then the bass is in the exact same octave, just E1 standard, and it has a bass treatment, a bass type of tone. And we listened to that, a little bit of that earlier. Bunn, we can go back to that. So what I'm talking about is the volume. I'll bring the volume down. Is this stuff. So that's the guitars and the bass are in the exact same octave. And it's really gnarly. And I'm doing it for that gnarliness, that just like earth moving, everything sounds like a big bucket of dirt being dumped onto a person. But yeah, so people are like, oh, why would you tune the guitars in the same octave? Well, that's one reason maybe why Meshuggah does it, because they, you know, they like that super low thing. But Meshuggah, some people are saying you can't go an octave lower. Well, Meshuggah does, and I actually dug it up here. Ola Englund, you know, maybe a couple years ago, well, May 24th, 2018. So it was actually before, it was like 2 years ago, 3 years ago.
Quake
So-
bass. Quake bass. 40-inch scale. Yeah, good for something.
Good for destroy.
Ooh, remember
Yeah.
this one.
So Meshuggah, recently it's become popular for Meshuggah to use the Quake bass to go an octave down on the F sharp. And so F sharp 0 or F sharp 00 or F sharp 0. Yeah, F sharp 0. So crazy, so low. But you know, you need a lot of scale length to do it. And they were experimenting with the Quake bass back then, and now they're using it. It's like they're doing shows and recordings and whatnot with that super low octave down. For the longest time, they were just doing things in unison. But they got the Quake bass. For those of you who don't know, the Quake bass is made by Callium Instruments, Callium Strings, Callium Instruments, and they're doing this super long 39.4 or 39.64 inches in scale, almost 40 inches in scale bass to accommodate these very, very, very low tunings. Where the fundamental, they're not keeping the fundamental intact. They're cutting off the fundamental because the fundamental is useless at that point in terms of mix. But anyway, that's being done. If people are like, why are you using these super low octave ranges? Well, because people are doing stuff down there and we're trying to communicate about it and people don't know what we're talking about. So we use numbers. And then the other thing is some people are like, what strings should I use? And they're like confused about when they see this E2, A2, D3, G3. They're like, I don't know what that means. Well, that's why I made this video. To try and decode what all these octave numbers are. So if you go to stringjoy.com and use their string tension calculator, and you notice here for a set of 10s, the average tension is between 17 to 20 pounds of tension. And the goal, the whole purpose of my channel is to try and find the match of the scale length to the tension and the pitch, and try and always kind of hover around that 20 pounds. Sometimes it goes lower, you know, it's more like 15 to 17 pounds of tension. Depends on the scale length and the tuning and all that kind of stuff. But that's what this whole thing is about. But E2, I tuned to G1. So G1 is 6 tones down. So E2, D2, C2, B1, which is a semitone apart, A1, G1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Bam. G2, G1. So if you see here at 25 inches in scale at a 48 inch or 48.048 gauge string, we only have 7.1 inches or pounds of tension. And even if we double that and go up to, what is that, 48? Let's go to 58, double, or not double, but a whole 10 pounds. It's like 10 pounds of tension. Great, at 25. So to get it up to that 85, what do we get? Yeah. Imagine an 80, even with an 80 at 25.5 inches in scale for G1, it's only 18 pounds of tension. It's like still not quite the same. And God, like playing an 80 at 25.5, what, like, that's awful. Because the size of the string at a short scale length, the string doesn't like have enough length to vibrate at its sort of optimum vibration. So it's dead and it has no sustain. So these are the things that this channel is all about. And I'm trying my best to explain them so that, you know, people can get the best results that they can possibly get for what their desired end is. So why not use a 27 inch to go down to low E1? These are the reasons why. I hope that makes sense. What do we got here? Oh yeah. And this is going to be the last little bit. Is I've started doing a Monday night, Monday evening, 6 o'clock news kind of thing. And I believe it's at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern Standard, which would be, I guess, what would that be earlier? Like 4 p.m. Central Time? I'm so bad at all of that. I get it mixed up all the time. But yeah, I'm doing a baritone news show every Monday. And right now it's in a pilot phase. We're going to do 2 more episodes. And if I can deliver an hour's worth of meaningful baritone related news, things related to the baritone topic, it's not always specifically baritone, but like related to the baritone topic. If I can do it for 4 weeks, we're going to just keep doing it. And so far it's been pretty easy to deliver without a lot of searching and pretty fun. And yeah, this Monday we're going to do it again. And same as this show, it lives in a playlist. You won't find it just on the regular channel. It's in a playlist a little lower on the channel. You gotta go to the channel to find it. So yeah, that's it for the topics here. I hope that's all fun. Whoa, Anthony Nieto, just coming back to the comments. Cheers to weekend hangs and stove vibes. Yes. And Nick Hill says, it's so funny, all of the you can't do this and you can't do that. People, you can do whatever you like. Yeah, my whole thing, Nick Hill brings up a great point here. My whole thing is like, I don't care what you do. I don't care what anybody does. This channel seeks to be helpful for a specific end, you know, to try and be able to navigate the information to try and get the best result possible for a specific goal. That's the whole thing. Can you use a super short guitar to do super low tuning? Of course you can. But, you know, if you're dissatisfied with that, then this channel's for you and to try and get better results. But if you're satisfied with that, perfect. You like, if you're easily satisfied, or if the thing you're doing doesn't require, you know, really complicated or really specific equipment or setups or whatever, then that's a bonus. And take that to the bank and just have fun and create. But yeah, little reminder here, Anthony Nieto, that you guys will see in the comments. Anthony recently launched a channel of his own, and he's been doing some videos as well that are very helpful about very specific things. Something that I'm noticing with a lot of the folks in this community who are doing channels and doing things, they're focusing on really specific things, and it's not for everyone. It's not a result for everyone, but the people that it is kind of helpful for, it is very helpful for. So if you're into like cool hacks and whatnot, Strung Out also has a channel. You'll see Strung Out in the comments. Anthony Nieto, Nick Hill. Yeah, a lot of cool channels. Sean Heath, he has a build channel. He builds guitars, like he goes all the way. He actually builds guitars and basses. So yeah, Development of a Void has a channel, getting into really cool, smart things. So, and sometimes just fun things. You know, sometimes we just would like to have fun too. But yeah, Nick Hill brings up a great point there is, you know, these channels are not about what you should or shouldn't do. These channels are about if you're looking for more, then there's an option for more. There's hopefully some information that will help you get further along. Electric Meat Puppet. Yeah, he's like, you know, he's getting it together for everyone. Strung Out says, the octave numbers have become second nature to me. Going down in tuning, B1 is where 7 strings and baritones start. B3 is the second string, and half a step up is C4. The high C is C standard. Yeah. I've since doing this Baritone Obsessed Facebook group, that's where the numbers, people started communicating in numbers. I'm like, whoa. I didn't really see it coming. I didn't expect it. But yeah, it has become very helpful in terms of, you know, communicating clearly. I know exactly what people are talking about when they use the numbers. And that's the whole point. It's not to try and like up anybody. If anybody out there is feeling uncomfortable because they're not up to snuff with all the numbers, well, that's the whole reason I made this video, to hopefully get you a little more comfortable with the numbers. And just let it be known that in this world, in the Bunn world, nobody is going to out someone for not knowing. If you don't know and you're like, hey, I don't know what's going on here, can you fill me in? I'm happy to help people out to the best of my knowledge. I don't know everything. That's the other thing. I don't pretend to know everything, and most of my friends don't pretend to know everything. But if we can help you, we will help you. So if you're uncomfortable and you don't know, let us know, because we'll help you. And it's better if everybody knows. I hope that helps. Oh, Sean Heath, what are you doing there with those Euros? You're the best. Thank you, brother. I like those Euros. You know, I just like the Euro symbol like so much. I don't know, design-wise, it's just like, it looks so good. Apoplexia, how are you doing? I hope you are well in that Montreal. It would be 11:18 there, wouldn't it? Apoplexia, Matt Sorensen is saying, am I following this right? The lowest I go on a Les Paul is A sharp. Yeah, and you know, I don't like to go low on 24.75, but I have two 24.75 inch scale guitars, and I've had them low many, many, many times, so I know what it's all about. And lots of people here also have that. Yeah, Lee from Bring Me the Horizon is playing an 80 on a 24.75 Les Paul. just to hit drop A or also drop G. But yeah, in G on a 24.75 with an 80, you're still only getting 17 pounds or 18 pounds of tension. So it's actually lower than a regular guitar in E standard with 10s. Actually, 24.75, it would be lower tension. It would be like, yeah, 16 or 17 pounds in G, which is like not a lot with an 80. So, and in an 80, it would be just so dead. But you can do it. You know, if that's all you have and that's what you want to do, you can do it. The intonation won't be great, but maybe the intonation isn't really in question because of the way that you're writing and playing. These are all very important things and very liberating things if you figure it all out. Yeah, awesome. Totally awesome. Matt's saying, I've tried to mimic Architect's tuning on a 25.5 FR equipped, Floyd Rose equipped, Dean octave E, like EE, so E1, E2, with an 80, and the tone wasn't, what's going on there? The tone, it's moving. Tone wasn't there. Playing was tricky and had to be way too gentle, which is counterintuitive. Yeah, there's all these things, you know, a lot of people bring up often Jason Richardson that he plays, you know, in drop G on a 25.5 and it's fine. But, you know, he is an unbelievably practiced human being. And there's a couple things going on with him. He's very practiced. He has a very light touch. He is not playing the low G up the fretboard. It's mostly like open G or like a few like fretted notes very low on the fretboard. So if that's your story, super low tuning with even a low gauge string, like low gauge, high gauge, low gauge, like lighter string, confusing terms, it can work. You know, I did a live stream a little while back where I had my 24.75 inch scale Schecter guitar with a 56 on it tuned down to G. And if you play it really light and all of that kind of stuff, you can make some stuff happen. So there's ways to do things. Just this channel is about, you know, if you want to like do it really like badass and it be not a challenge and not have to give up on anything. Have great sustain, have great like string tension, have like a great like upper mid rich tone, you know, not have any intonation issues. Just intonation off the table, not an issue. That's what I want. I want a guitar that plays in a super low tuning exactly how a Strat plays in E2 standard. You know, I want really great playing instrument. So that's what I try to kind of cover in terms of information, if anyone is wondering. So yeah, if there's any like confusion on anything, I'm always happy to try and make sense of it all. But you should do what you want to do with whatever you got. Nick Hill or Phil, how are you, Phil? Good to see you. Just came here to wish you good evening, Senor Bunn. Have a good stream. Phil, always good to see you, man. You're always like, just like we gotta hang out post-COVID. It'd be so sick if we could do like some kind of a meetup once this COVID stuff is done. Not immediately after COVID, but like, I don't know, do like a festival, a Baritone Obsessed festival or something like that. That would be amazing. I don't know where it would be, but hopefully we can do that one day. We can all hang out, have a beer, have a coffee, have a glass of milk, whatever. Do the thing that we're going to do all together. Nick Hill is saying Architects is using an octave on their new stuff, I believe. Like an octave string or an octave pedal, not sure. Saw in Josh Middleton video, so pretty much a standard tune guitar. A standard, yes, so standard E, but they're using like 27-inch scale, 27.5-inch scale. Like his Architect's signature model is 27.5 inches in scale. and he tunes the low string down an octave. So E standard, E2 standard, but then the 6th string is dropped an octave down. And he doesn't like play a lot of fretting on that string as far as I can remember. Development of Void says, Bunn, I saw this band Mostro in one of your playlists. They've been a great influence. Yeah, Mostro, man. Lucas Weisbrod from Argentina. That is his project. He's recently teamed up with Lindsay O'Connor of many death metal. She's a vocalist, very creative death metal vocalist, very good. And they've teamed up and they did a Mostro single together, but they also have moved on to do a side project, like primary project between the two of them, but side project for each of them. So that is supposed to be like grindy kind of stuff. And yeah, very stoked to hear what they come up with. Apoplexia is saying, hey, thank you, Apoplexia. That's what awesome and you, what's awesome and you and the community, your pals are building. So much positivity and good vibes. I'm doing well, and it's 10:22 here as well. Okay, same time zone, Montreal? Yeah, I guess maybe Quebec City is where the time shifts over a bit. Half an hour or something? I don't know. Beard guy, yo. Thank you, Apoplexia. It goes a long way here in Bunnland. Development of a Void. Thanks for sharing my channel. Wow, dude, all of our channels together are what make this whole world awesome. And you're doing some awesome stuff there. That in like your first video, we were all like jamming on that yesterday. Not yesterday, on the night of the bandless stream. We're like, whoa, because kind of didn't really notice the first video before. Or maybe we did. I'm not too sure. But yeah, dug into that a little bit on Wednesday. Pretty crazy. Like really well done. Beard Guy is saying, here's the link to my new single from my new solo project. I just launched the song. It was my final project for my audio class. The link isn't going. Can you send it to me? I don't know how we're going to do this. Yes, I can share the link. This is what I'm going to do. What time is it here? 10:26. So we got a half hour. So at thebunn.ca. Send me the link, and I'll keep an eye on my email here. Gmail, open the Gmail. Yeah, send me that email of that link, and I'll definitely share it, 100%. Mr. Beard Guy didn't want to break up the flow of the chat, but I've been wanting to share it with Bunn since he seemed interested in it last time. Yeah, like, what is it, like Doom? Like half Doom, half... yeah, it sounds crazy. I totally want to hear it. Development of Void. I don't think you can post links, Beard Guy. Yeah, unfortunately, we can't share links in the chat. Can share links in the comments, channel comments, but not in the chat. I can share them though. So yeah, that email that I shared, I have my email open now. So share it to me, and yeah, I can post them up. And oh wow, I can see myself in the viewer. That's so wild. Crazy. Yeah, right. So going out to the end here, we're just going to do like hang out in the comments. Something else I wanted to bring to attention here, I'm going to do this, is I have a like a Bandcamp fan page, fan account, whatever, like where I buy all my music. And a lot of people frequently are like, oh, like, what do you listen to? Like, how do you get what's your inspiration or whatever? Well, I listen to a lot of different things, but I put a bunch of things at the top of my Bandcamp list that are like in terms of the heavy stuff that I listen to. People are always asking in relationship to that, like, what are the heavy kinds of music that you listen to? And I put in the top of my list sort of the things that maybe inspire me the most to think differently about heavy music, which would be Yashira, Mastro. Strangely enough, we were just talking about Mastro, but Mastro, Nightmare, Frontier, Fawn Limbs. And then these are not necessarily all heavy, but some math rocky kind of stuff. Totoro, Snooze, Italian Shirtaloo, Yoink, Dysrhythmia, Stare, and then other stuff like Daughters and heavy stuff, like vibey stuff, heavy vibey stuff like Mare and Capsule, Combat Astronomy, Grievances, like Kowloon Walled City, Stay Asleep, YLVA, Evil X, some like UK math rock kind of stuff. I like a lot of that. And then a local band, no longer around, but called Cross, that is just like this really broken up kind of stuff. Not necessarily heavy, but heavy-ish, but interesting. And then like lots of electronic music, Apoplexia, who is in actually the comments, but like I have a lot of Apoplexia stuff and various other electronic things and hip hop and other things. But at the top, I just put like a quick list together of things that inspire maybe my, heavier music interests. But I would say in terms of my writing doesn't come from music at all. So anyone who's wondering like, oh, what bands do you listen to? Well, the music that I write, the music doesn't come from music. If that makes any sense, if that's helpful at all. I'm more interested generally in non-musical inspirations, like, I don't know, graphic design or architecture or nature or those sorts of things. So yeah, but I do listen to music, and I listen to heavier music, but I listen to a lot of music that is not heavy, particularly electronic music and math rock. I love math rock a lot. So I have that Bandcamp. You can find it just the Bunn as like in terms of listeners. If you search Bandcamp, the Bunn, you can look at my collection, and you can also, if you follow me, I'll follow you back in terms of just being like pals on Bandcamp. And it's nice to see what other people buy on Bandcamp, and it kind of informs me of what people are listening to. And I've found a lot of really great music that you'll never find on Spotify. I find more music on Bandcamp that is interesting and new, that, yeah, you're just not going to find on Spotify. I don't listen to Spotify other than if I'm hanging out with my girlfriend and we're having dinner. We'll listen to Spotify because there's a lot of music that she likes that's on Spotify. But otherwise, I don't listen to Spotify. Don't have a problem with Spotify. I'm on Spotify. My music is on Spotify or Apple Music or whatever, big streamers. But typically I find my music on Bandcamp. And if you have a Bandcamp and you buy music on Bandcamp, connect with me because maybe I'll find some really cool music on Bandcamp by following you. So that's cool. That's kind of fun. Hope that's fun. Back to the comments here. I'm going to move this over. I have an ultra wide screen, but it's still not wide enough for all of this stuff. And so Matt Sorens, Phil, well, if I ever go to Canada, I will be more than happy to meet baritoners. Yeah, there's not a lot of baritoners here, surprisingly. By the way, anyone from Toronto, if you play a bass 6 or if you play bass in E1 standard, Wetlands is looking for a bass player and a secondary bass 6 player. I don't really care about it can be a 3-piece. I don't need another bass 6 player, but if I can get one easily, that would be great. But definitely need a bass player, and E1 standard bass players, there's lots of those out there. This is one of the reasons why I'm doing the Wetlands stuff. It's easier to make happen than foreigns. That's very difficult to make happen. What's the spot for bandless? Okay, what's going on here? La, la, la. Phil, if I ever go to Canada, yeah. If you ever come to Canada, if I ever go to the United States, I'll call you up. Be like, yo, what's up? Let's play some baritone riffs. Are you in United States, Phil? You have Stracer. Like, you might be Scandinavian. Not sure. But Matt Sorensen, I think you're Scandinavian. You're from Sweden, are you not? So in other words, go along or be aware of compromises. Got a jet. It's 4:20 in Europe. Have fun. Matt, have a good night. Hope you're well. And yes, you're 100% correct. There are compromises, but sometimes it's not a compromise if you don't care. And Beer Guy is saying, Apoplexia, what's the spot for bandless? Yeah, bandless stuff, the bandless sort of group is in Discord. I've opened up my Patreon, the top tier. I'm doing an experiment right now where the bandless and my own sub Discord is in the bandless Discord. So it opens up that way, so you can get access that way. I'm not exactly sure. I'm still testing how it works before I start publicizing. It's like, if you join me on Patreon and YouTube memberships, you gain access to the bandless Discord and all this kind of stuff. I don't really know how it works with certainty, with confidence. So I'm not promoting it yet, but that is something I'm testing right now, and I will open that up as an option going forward. I don't know. Discord is, and all these web apps, it's like a little bit of a headache to navigate. Apoplexia, maybe Bunn can share the link. Yeah, I can. Beard Guy, I can share it with you, but I'm not going to share the links publicly anymore with the bandless, with the Discord. Send me an email. Here we go. Where is it going? Scott at thebunn.ca. Send me an email, Beard Guy, and I will hook you up with the bandless Discord. And Matt Sorensen, Nick Hill, Josh is rocking 25.5 Evertune for Octave F. Da, 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 da. Right, he's got all the deals there. Matt, where in Europe are you? Yeah. By the way, that's another cool thing about this live stream, about everything Bunn related, is make friends in your area. You know, if you want to shout out, it's like, hey, yo, I'm in Toronto. Where are you at? Like, who's in Toronto? I'm in, I don't know, Alberta. Who's in Alberta? I'm in Wisconsin. Who's in Wisconsin? Like, let's hook up, or let's link up, or I don't know, whatever. You can do that here. That's totally cool. And Beer Guy is saying, seems Mayonnaise has become a pretty big name. Think both them and Aristides, I never know how to say that, are really killing it. Yeah, those are like pretty big brands. They've been pretty decently known, pretty reputable brands now for a bit. I think both of them reached another level of popularity through the whole gent phase. You know, at the height of gent, those guitars became really popular, and they were like endorsing a lot of people in that space. And a lot of people from that world or that phase in heavy music became kind of big names in like progressive music, progressive metal music, progressive heavy music. So, and kind of really popularized those brands. And Raymond, I'm not seeing, oh, hey, from Saskatchewan. Welcome, fellow Canadian. Hope you're well, Raymond. Just ordered a baritone, and it's B standard type. It shouldn't, but should suit well for me. Keep up with the great work. Yeah, man. There ain't no limits in terms of the baritone here. Some people think like, because I focus on the longer baritones, that I hate short baritones. I'm like, no, I love guitars. I have 24.75 inch scale guitars. I have short guitars. I have 2 of them, and they're totally fine. I have a couple 25.5-inch scale guitars as well. I play mostly baritone most of the time, and lately 30 inch is like my favorite. But yeah, everyone's welcome if you play guitar at all. Guitar is awesome. I love guitar. And I think everybody else here loves guitar. I love bass too, like especially now that I got like the bass tones happening. I'm going to be sharing these tones with everybody with me at Patreon and YouTube memberships. By the way, if you're one of those people and you're like, yo, where are these tones for me? You usually share the tones. I'm sharing it. I'm going to do it tomorrow. I promise. Yeah, if you're with me at those places, everyone gets all those things all the time. 247. And thanks to the calculator on the Evertune website, I might be able to drop it to A and maintain adequate tension. Yeah, you should be able to. Raymond, great guy to talk to with the Evertunes is Nick Hill. He has 2 Evertune guitars. He has a 25.5-inch scale Evertune Solar guitar, and that's tuned to C, drop C, and he has it set up with the Evertune set up to accommodate that drop C, and he uses very light strings. Nick Hill uses unbelievably light strings, and he's totally okay with it, and it's working out great for him, and he has great sounds, and his recordings sound amazing. So definitely talk to him about that stuff if you're at all like curious about things or you just want answers. He also has a 27-inch scale Solar with an Evertune tuned to A, drop A, and yeah, no problems there. Like I say, his recordings sound amazing. His tones sound amazing. So, and he uses very light strings, like way, way, way light, way low tension. But it works, you know, he's got it working. So, whatchamacallit? Beard guy, Matt Sorensen. Yeah. By the way, Raymond, where in Saskatchewan? What, Regina or what city? Moose Jaw? Would love to know. Or maybe like a smaller town. That's totally cool. Raymond, apoplexia should be an experiment. Scott Bunn, da da da. Oh, I'm gonna check my email here, by the way. See if we got some. Oh man, where is it? Bam, and bam, and refresh. No links. I'm not getting any links. Oh, primary. What do you got? Deluxe beer guy. Here we go. Okay, this is gonna be a world exclusive. Beer guy, I'm gonna just play it on here. I hope you don't mind. It's do or die. Bam, bam, bam. And I'm going to share it in the comments as well. Bam, bam. So we're going to get into this. Oh, I have so many windows to manage here. Just bear with me. Desktop right. Great. So this is Beard Guy's project. He's been working on this for a long time. He went to audio college and he did some of this or all of this at school. And we're going to have to, our desktop audio is down. Did I share the link in there? Yes. If you're interested in it, it already sounds cool and doomy, and I'm not going to play it all, by the way. It's going to be up to you guys. I like that. That's cool. I'm not going to play it all for everyone. Other people are going to. I do know that this shifts later on, and I want to. Whoa. Nice. Good rhythms too, like the drum rhythms. It's cool. You're appealing to Bunn sensibilities. I don't know how much you notice the Bunn drum rhythms, but I do something similar, like kind of that like broken kind of beats. I love them. I love them so much. This is cool, man. Beer guy. How does it feel? How does it feel to be out of the gate finally? It's good. Do some more. But yeah, I shared it in there. It's called bogmachine.bandcamp.com. This is Beard Guy's first thing. Today we thought it was going to be a Bandcamp Friday, and it's not. Bandcamp Friday, going back on that, I covered this earlier in the show. The next Bandcamp Friday is going to be August 1st, or the first week of August, the first Friday of August. We go back to regular Bandcamp Fridays for the rest of 2021. For those of you who don't know, Bandcamp Friday is Bandcamp waives all of their fees and artist takes all, other than the PayPal fee. So very nice, and it just makes a lot of excitement in the Bandcamp world. And on this show, we try to, share what everyone is doing on Bandcamp Friday. All of our pals, we try to highlight them all. So there was going to be a Bandcamp Friday today, we thought, but there isn't because it's going to be June 19th. Look into it. I covered it earlier in the show. But everybody in the Baritone obsessed world is trying to hit all these Bandcamps. Bandcamp Fridays as sort of their mile markers. It's like, okay, I have a schedule to try and finish a track and just try and keep finishing tracks. And then once we have a bunch of tracks, rework all those tracks, put them together in an EP or an LP and release it on Spotify as an album. So that's kind of what we all got going on. Hope you guys can get it going on. Yeah, the cover art is pretty cool. Hey, I think Synth Chris is saying, it has a little bit of that native art, kind of like everything connected kind of vibe. Like here in Canada, the natives do this like really cool artwork that all of the components of reality are connected. All of life and all of earth and everything is connected in the artwork. And this has a little bit of a hint of that in there. It's cool. Bog Machine. I dig it. Nice work. Nice work, Beer Guy. Oh, Beer Guy. Thank you. It feels good. Bless you and your support, bud. We all support each other. So yeah, I'm happy to do it. This is why I put myself on the internet, was to meet other musicians, other creative people. And it's finally this past year, 2 years, where it's finally, I feel like I'm connecting with people in meaningful ways. So yeah, awesome. Raymond is saying that he is from Saskatchewan, but he's from Swift Current, Saskatchewan. Welcome. And you got a 277. I did a demo on that 277. Nice guitar. I did a semi-hollowed demo. I think Nick Hill had a solid body 277. Am I correct on that, Nick Hill? But yeah, welcome. Super stoked. And Apoplexia saying, yeah, the cover art is rad. Stoked. And I dropped the link in there, didn't I? I'm going to drop it one more time just in case it didn't work. But yeah, that's Beer Guy's latest effort. Pretty stoked. Good job, man. Music releases. Whoa, I'm just clicking on buttons. What time is it? 10:47. So we're going to shut this down at 11. I'm going to go and have a little date with my girlfriend at home. I'm going to be like, hey, Carrie, what's up? Let's stare at each other into each other's eyes and profess our love for each other. It's going to be fun. What else we got going on here? Oh, comments. Get them up here. Cool. Mick Gordon, Apoplexia always comes up. Apoplexia is saying that Mick Gordon also rocking mayonnaise. I featured some new mayonnaise models recently released, new mayonnaise baritones last Monday. Just so you guys know, I talked about this already. Live stream. Bam. Bam. Where did I put it? Maybe I already closed it. Oh no, here we go. And desktop right. Bam. So this here is a playlist. With my live streams, shortly after they go live, like the next day or so, I make them unlisted and put them into a playlist. There's a whole bunch of good reasons why I do that. They're not like live streams are not a great thing to just find on a channel and be like, this is what this channel's all about. No, live streams are kind of meant to be in the moment, not the thing to find when you're just browsing the internet. Although some people seem to like them that way, not going to argue. But yeah, on Monday, we're going to be doing this again. We're going to be doing 2 more, and then I will assess whether or not I'm going to keep going forward with the baritone news. And it is a show dedicated to all things related to baritone, the baritone topic. It is 1 hour long. It's sort of rapid fire. It just go topic to topic to topic to topic. There's sometimes like 20 or 30 items on the news list. Last Monday, if you're interested, you can find this in the playlist on the channel, the Baritone News. Mayonnaise has released 2 new models, and I covered them in the last Baritone News. And they're pretty fancy looking, a little too fancy for the Bunn, and only 27 inches in scale, but guaranteed high-end guitars. If you're interested in the Mayonnaise stuff, check that out. And yeah, Mayonnaise doesn't fool around. They're Polish. They're from Poland. They're like, we are craftsmen. We ourselves are made of wood. So when we work with wood, we know what we're doing. Those Polish people. For those of you who don't know, my last name is Suklowski. It's not actually the Bunn. Bunn is a nickname. So my family is from Poland. And I was not born in Poland. I was born in Canada. But yeah, Suklowski. But we didn't speak Polish. My family spoke Ukrainian. There's a lot of stuff going on there. Guitar Nerd says, quick response or question. Does anyone know of a Baritone Explorer shape with a hip shot? The Solar Baritone is another option I have been considering, but it has that horrible Gibson style tail. Something you could do there, Guitar Nerd. You probably don't like this option, but Warmoth, they have an Explorer type of body option, and they also have, you know, a couple different head stock designs that are Explorer-like or otherwise, and you can go 28.625 inches in scale and tilt back with that design. So that will mean that the truss rod adjustment will be at the nut. Might be expensive. I don't know. Depends how you do it with the Warmoth stuff. But you can put any bridge you want on it. You can get it routed for whatever you want. And yeah, the hip shot string through. I understand why you like that bridge design. A, it's really comfortable. B, it's super stable. C, it's really easy to set up, the intonation and all that. It's just like a really low maintenance, ultra solid, good sounding, simple, solid, fail safe design. It makes perfect sense. Zin, how are you? I hope you are good. Zin or Jin? I hope I'm saying that right, but I hope you are well, and life is all good for you. Things are good here. We're winding her down here. We got 8 minutes left in the show, and we're just hanging out in the comments. We're done with all the topics, but if you're interested to know what the topics are, you can go back. I'm going to take this minute before it's too late to thank everyone with me over at Patreon and YouTube members. There's a lot of people over at that Patreon these days. Thank you very much. These are the people that make everything happen here. In addition to everyone who helps out with things like merch and music and all of that. If you're interested in that Patreon, I have links to it in the description, but there's also a cool little link there to the Patreon and a cool little link here to the YouTube memberships. And if you're like, I don't like that stuff, well, you know, You can help out with things on the website. If you're like, I want to help out, Bunn. Well, you can do that on the website. You can buy music, merch, whatever. Or if you want to do direct merch, below the video, you'll notice there's t-shirts. Those are direct to YouTube t-shirt options. There are a bunch more over at Threadless. And in terms of music, the most music that I have to offer, there's stuff that is available on Bandcamp that is not available anywhere else, and which is a Vens demo and some foreign singles. There are foreign singles that were released before the Metropolitan EP that are different, that I think are superior in their sound. And to be clear, in terms of what I'm talking about there, because I bring it up all the time. People are like, what are you talking about? I've been there. I don't know what you're talking about. Well, we talked about this earlier. This Vens thing, it's only available there, as well as these here foreigns demos or foreign singles. This one and the other one. Which one is this? Harbor? This version of Harbor and this version of Colony. They are actually different than what is on the Metropolitan EP, and I think they sound superior. We're not going to listen to all of that. But yeah, some just food for thought, interesting stuff, totally different, or totally the widest range of options over at that Bandcamp. And fun, pretty fun. Like I was saying earlier, if you have a Bandcamp, search me as a Bandcamp buyer, as a fan, the Bunn, and link up with me, follow me, I'll follow you back, because the best way for me to find music in the world is on Bandcamp. And usually when people buy stuff on Bandcamp, I'll go through your collection. I'll be like, oh, I like this thing that you're interested in. What else are you interested in? And I'll do that. But also it shows me, it's like, oh, so-and-so bought this on Bandcamp. I'm like, oh, what was that? So yeah, I would love to know what you're doing on that Bandcamp. Bunn shirts are very comfy. Comfy, is that a word? Synth Chris? Amazing. Hey, Synth Chris, just, while we're here, it's all out in the open, but I'd like to get you on that band list if you're keen. I think you already mentioned that you're interested in that, but we should have a little conversation off camera. Just remind me if you don't hear from me in the next couple days, if you can. Pedro, how are you? Good to see you. We're here for 3 more minutes, but good to see you from the Brazil. What area of Brazil? Rio, Sao Paulo, Brasilia. Yeah. Where are you from? What are you doing? Are you doing the low tuning on the guitars? You producing anything? You playing in bands? I hope all is well. Comfy as in comfortable. Since Chris, it's weird. Like that company, not comfy, that is also comfortable. Comfortable. So wild. Talking wild stuff. Wearing your low tuner pedal. That pedal shirt, isn't that a wild phenomenon? It was fun, but when I designed that pedal t-shirt, I didn't think in a million years that anyone would ever be interested in it. I thought it was so corny, and I just made it. I just drew it because I thought it was funny. But it really took off. I'm like, what the heck? So wild. Guitar Nerd, Harley Benton are $200, so I would never expect much anyway. But strangely enough, Guitar Nerd, the Harley Bentons, a lot of people have unbelievably good results. Some people occasionally get lemons, but yeah, surprisingly amazing guitars, generally speaking. I'm not advocating that they are guaranteed a good buy. They do require buyer beware or caution in purchasing, but yeah, surprising instruments. Synth Chris, yes, we'll do a What's Up thing for sure. 100%. I'm going to line up everything tomorrow with everyone for the week to come, because it's always like a day too late. I'm just going to do it tomorrow. But we're going to line it up. We're going to wind it down. I'm so tired. 10:59. Thanks to everyone for hanging out tonight. Always a good time. I apologize that we don't have the comments. I'm going to go back to the big screen here for the outro. I'm going to move this over. Great. I can actually see everything. But yeah, great to see everyone in the comments. Apologies that we don't have the comments up on the screen. We'll get back to that when the funds get a little bit better. Hopefully the funds will get better. I think they will. Yeah, always a good time. I hope maybe that there was something of value, something informationally of takeaway, or just maybe fun. You know, we don't always have to cover smart stuff. Sometimes we just want to have fun and hang out, because it's a lonely world, especially in this COVID lifestyle. And yeah, thanks for hanging out. I hope you're well. Hope you have a great week. We're going to do Baritone News on Monday evening at 5 p.m. 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. Pilot series. Otherwise, we won't do this show for another month. So the first Friday of next month, we'll be back with this show. Until then, I hope you're well, but I hope you have an awesome week of riffs. But yeah, be well, and yeah, have a good night.